everyone. We are back again with another Risk Insurance Dialogues interview. I am very excited today. We have Achim Kohli here. He is the co-founder and CEO of Amaise. So thank you so much, Achim, for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. So to kick things off, can you just give a little introduction of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm Achim Kohli. As you hear, have a Swiss accent, a German accent. I'm actually right now in Switzerland, where it's a bit snowy and not as warm as where you are, Katie. Yeah, my background is I have a professional career as a defense attorney in injury claims, and I started my career very motivated, and then found out that I do a lot of document study in a manual way, and that's where everything kicked off with Amaze, and that's where the whole journey started. That now also brought us to the US in this year.
Absolutely, and that is so exciting. I wanted to kind of ask how, with regards to Amaze, we had talked about it a little bit the other day, but how did the idea come about to start something like this, something so, advanced for tech, especially in the insurance industry? What was the inspiration there?
Yeah, it was actually really my professional career. I was super motivated when I started my professional career in injury claims, and then I was just overwhelmed and shocked how much manual work I had to do, how I had to handle documents, to print them out or to digitally sort them, and how much time I wasted, and I was frustrated, and I thought I cannot work like this for the rest of my life. I just started, so I think it were these fresh eyes that shocked me, and I was thinking this should not be the standard. I thought for myself, and then I had nothing to lose, so I quit my lawyer's job, and started Amaze.
Awesome. And then when you were developing Amaze, how did you determine how to balance, technology like innovation wise, but then also keep it so that the adjusters and the professionals are still able to use it? Because a lot of us are, especially in this industry, are used to the very manual processes. So how did you kind of balance that side of things, but then also using all the new technology that's available?
Yeah, as I was coming from the user side, and as I knew it from myself, I was first really exploring how other people would work, and if it's a problem of myself or if it's really a problem of the industry, and if everybody's struggling with the same. And I then found out that it's not just really me, but it's just how things are handled, and it's not just like things are handled like this in Switzerland, but they're handled like this in all over Europe, we found out, and very, very similar also in the US, where you just work really manually through things. And what we did is we really talked a lot with users. We would try to understand their processes. We would try to understand what is important for them and what not, and then build it from there. So we could really link our software to their thinking, to their way of working. And that's actually also the feedback we get in the US is, for example, at CLM conference, where we had about 40 demos or so, adjusters would say it feels like this was built by adjusters for adjusters, as it really picks up where you start. As an example, you always wanna, as an adjuster, you always wanna know where the information is coming from that our AI suggests is important, and so with one click you always see the original, and you can judge very, very fast if an information is reliable or not. But if you just display some information that you cannot verify where it's coming from, yeah, it's very hard to then trust such a software, and that's where we started really trying to understand the user.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool that you had adjusters that said that it feels like it's built by adjusters, because that is, such an important aspect. You want to make sure that the people that are using it actually know how to use the tool. So that's always great to get that positive feedback, I'm sure. And I wanted to kind of also talk about, you had touched on it briefly, since you have experience with not just, insurance in the US, but internationally. What are kind of the differences you see, if any, between, global insurance and then specific to the US?
Yeah, the interesting thing is that the core is very, very similar. So what adjusters are looking for, the information they're looking for, the key relevant facts that can decide one case or the other. And as we're focused on injury claims, I mean, in the center is often that you understand what happened from a medical point of view. If you have an accident, what is caused by this accident, and then when did the insurance come into place, and what is the coverage, and what are the contradictions, and so the basis is very similar. Also, the struggles are very similar, about a lot of handling a lot of documents, duplicates, bad quality documents, and collaborating together with multiple experts and etc. So that's astonishingly very similar in Europe, and also in the US, and that was a pleasure for us to discover that everybody is struggling with the same challenges. What is different, and then there are a lot of differences obviously as well. So the core is similar, but then obviously in the US you talk about way higher sums for that are claimed. For example, in Switzerland, it will sound ridiculous to you, but if you would rip off a finger in a car accident, you would get like $20,000 max. And we just handled such a claim for a US insurer, and there it's in the millions, where a kid his finger was ripped off, he had to get an amputation, etc., etc., and it was north of 10 millions, the claim and the settlement, and yet the whole figures are just, it's everything bigger. So in a way that's good for us, because we can even provide higher benefits to our carriers that we're working with.
Yeah, definitely. That's so interesting to hear that there's kind of that cap on exposure in Europe. I didn't know that, so that's really interesting.
Yeah, it was really, it's just a different culture, and you have like tables where you see, if you lose this part of the finger, you get this much. If you lose it here, you get this much, and like this for the whole body, including if you have afterwards psychological traumas, etc. And I think something different is as well, what we discovered in the US is that from the plaintiff side, there are so many players like working together to maximize the profits, including doctors and the lawyers obviously, and all of them working together to get the highest claim. You have private equity investing, etc., and that's also something that is not existing at all in Switzerland, Europe, and it just gives way more pressure on, in the end, also on the adjuster and on the carrier, and obviously it's the pressure. As the pressure is higher, also the need is bigger to really transform today's process.
Yeah, that is another reason why, products like Amaise and things are so crucial, especially in the US. What kind of challenges or things, opportunities maybe is a better way to phrase it, that did you experience when you were introducing this new technology to the US as well as Europe? Did you face any particular challenges or obstacles, or did you notice things as you were creating it that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, there were quite some challenges, because it's one thing to build a prototype, and yeah, with today's technology that goes fast, and almost everybody can build a good looking prototype, but the other thing is first to make it really stable on a very broad data set. As new data comes in, yeah, you have to also redefine the approaches. Secondly, to be really enterprise ready, so it's reliable, it's working 24/7, it's working with a very high quality. That's the second part. And then the third part is, as it's so sensitive data, you're in a very highly regulated environment, in Europe even higher than in the US, with GDPR, all the data protection regulations, the EU AI Act, and like this, as a smaller company, as a speedboat, you have to see that you're fast, but you're observing the processes, the regulations, the quality, and sometimes you would love to move faster, but it's just not possible. You have to find this balance, and yeah, and I think that's the challenge, to be fast, but not yeah, to always offer high quality software, to have it tested through that. Yeah, it's very safe and reliable.
Yeah, definitely. That is that would definitely make it challenging. I love the speedboat analogy, like you can't go too fast 'cause you lose control, but you want to get everything done as quickly as possible and stay up to date with all the new innovation. That kind of leads into my next question. I wanted to ask for professionals in the industry, what can we be excited about with regards to tech? Kind of what excites you about the future of insurance with regards to technology like amaise? What are kind of things that everyone can look forward to?
Yeah, it really liberates, I think, the professional from mundane tasks, and helps her and him focus on things that are fun. That's also what we hear in the US. Hey, with amaise, the professional life becomes fun again, because you take away all these mundane tasks, and I can eventually do what I'm here for. I don't wanna sort documents and rename documents, their titles, and find duplicates, and etc. etc. What I want to do is like analyze the case, find contradictions, look how to argue, think how I can settle it fast, that it gives a win-win to everybody, etc. etc. And I see our tool as an enabler for the adjuster, and also for the carriers, that they can really, the scarce and expensive resource, that they can really put it where it's mostly needed. And I think that's exciting, especially for young professionals that come in, that they can really focus on what's fun. Obviously, if you work longer in the industry, you also get used to certain processes, but also there we see that people are very relieved once they see what technology can do for them, and that it becomes simple and serves their life.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think it's super exciting time. I don't believe in these metaphors that AI kind of takes over the world. I see it really as an enabler to become more human, if we want to say it like this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's a tool to help us to be able to do the parts of our job that we love, like you said, as opposed to something that's going to take away all these opportunities. So I'm glad that you pointed that out as well.
Yeah, exactly. called symbiosis between man and machine. So the machine has its strengths and weaknesses, and humankind as well, and we pair it so the adjusters, they can really focus on where their strengths are, and the machine as well, and together they become an unbeatable team.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I wanted to let everyone know that I'm going to put the information for Amaze, for your LinkedIn page and your website and everything in the link to this video. So definitely go check it out. They're doing some amazing stuff. And thank you so much, Achim, for taking the time to speak with me today. This was great.
Yeah, it was really nice. Thanks a lot, Katie, for the invitation, and hope to amaze a lot of carriers and adjusters.
Yes, absolutely.